Today is gear day. I've doom scrolled the internet to find the bare essential gear for us to start astrophotography in our own backyard today. I actually bought this stuff. You too can start astrophotography for $100. Welcome back to 100 Hobbies. Last video, I crash coursed astrophotography. Check it out. We covered the history, the fundamentals, and the basic terminology to become competent. So, now what do? Normally you would have to go online, read a bunch of reviews, the manuals, get lost in Amazon, and still have no idea what you want to buy. I figured it out for us. Here are the 7 things to do astrophotography. And luckily, we already own one of them. 4 of them are in a single purchase, and the other 2 are just smartphone downloads. Super easy. Number 1, smartphone. We probably already own this. We're gonna use it to take pictures. Number 2, telescope, so we can see things far away like the moon. 3, tripod. We gotta keep everything steady for these photographs. Number 4, we need a smartphone telescope adapter so we can attach our smartphone to the telescope. Number 5, remote shutter so we don't bump the camera when we hit the shoot photograph. Smartphone camera app is number 6 so we can take super long photographs. This is also called manual mode we covered in the last video. Lastly, kind of a bonus, number 7, the smartphone star map so we know what we're pointing at. I linked everything below in the description. Bonus points. Clicking these links below in the description helps keep this channel alive. Let's walk through my purchases and unbox the gear one by one. Smartphone, we already own that. Boom. I'm gonna use my 2020 smartphone SE 2nd generation that I'm filming this video with. You don't need a mega jillion pixel camera or any super iPhone Pro Max. Any smartphone will be great. And don't worry about the apps. I picked out the apps at the bottom of this episode to work on both Apple and Android. All right, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all bundled together. It's called the ToyerBee telescope with smartphone adapter, tripod, and remote shutter for $70. I tried to price them all out separately, and it all of a sudden became way over $100. So this was the cheapest, highest rated telescope in all around package. So let's unwrap this telescope and see what it actually looks like. So straight from China, I mean, that's to be expected. Here's the telescope. So it's a small package, super easy. It's not something super fancy. It's your basic telescope. I think this is actually gonna look pretty sweet when we're done. All right, the box. Remember we had 4 things in this box. That's why we bought this one. We had the telescope, the tripod, the smartphone adapter, and the remote shutter. So this is probably the telescope. It's not the biggest thing in the world. That's not the point. We're gonna use this to basically extend our camera length. And so we can start shooting things farther away, like the moon. Ta-da, it's a telescope. So this looks pretty sweet. All right. This is exactly what I was looking for. I didn't want this massive thing I was gonna have to store in my closet. Telescope, it's got a focal length, 300 millimeters by 70 millimeters. This is the entry-level telescope to get us started on this hobby. Tripod. Tripod, nothing magical about this. This is what we use to keep the telescope steady. That's all we need, and there we go. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, so this thing, it will do exactly what we need it to do. It's super light, super easy. Oh yeah. That is what we ordered. That's what we're looking for right here. And it's light. That's gonna make it super easy to travel when we wanna go on our field trip later on this season. All right, tripod, check. This is probably the most important thing in this entire box, which is silly because it's like $5. But I tried to buy it separately on Amazon and it was like $20 or $30. And it was like not universal. It only worked on some telescopes. They'll say universal, but you'll go read the comments, hence why I spent 6 hours doom scrolling, was this. This works with this. And I was able to buy them together for under $100. That's the magic here. You can go buy this. You can probably find something that's like a half a star better, and you probably can find this, but if you start buying them separately, it gets really expensive, and they don't go together. So you'll see it like stretches out, and we're gonna use it to line up on our lens. And lastly, you may even have one of these. So this is called a remote Bluetooth shutter. When we take photographs of the moon, we don't want to hit our button on our phone. When you hit something, the camera's going to move. And we're going to be using really long exposures. Remember the manual camera app? We're going to be using manual settings to take like 30-second long images. And so it's kind of like those old-timey photographs of the Wild West where everybody like froze and smiled. And what happened is if anybody moved, it'd be blurry. That is what this guy is. What this will do is allow us to stand back and take a photograph. We're going to just hit the button. And if you check this out, it actually has a setting for both iPhone and for Android. I want this stuff to be universal regardless of what phone you have. We are going to do astrophotography whether you have an iPhone or an Android smartphone. This will work. This is going to work really well. I'm not going to set it all up right now. We'll do that in the skills episode. But I just want to give you perspective on what you're buying right now so you can watch this video, pull the trigger on this equipment, and so you're ready to rock and roll in the next episode. All right, so we unwrapped our telescope. So we got the telescope, we got the tripod, we have all the lenses we need, the magic, the adapter, and then we also have our remote shutter. So I highly recommend buying this one. You can buy other telescopes, but it's important to me that we pick out something that we all can use together, all for under $100. And that way, when we go to learn this skill, you are using the same equipment in the next videos. It's gonna make your life way easier to pick up this one. Even if another one has like a quarter-star review better or is $5 cheaper. And if you want to do that, go for it. This is your hobby. Give it a whirl and see if you like this hobby. And then you can go spend thousands of dollars. You don't go out and buy a Porsche when you're trying to learn how to drive a stick. This one's got all the extras. It's got the tripod, it's got the adapter, it's got the remote shutter. It's a win, win, win. Boom. So number 6, smartphone manual camera app. We gotta go get this. I picked out ProShot. Filmic Pro used to be a go-to, but they switched over to a weekly price subscription. It's like $10 to $20 a month to use Filmic Pro. It's nuts. So I recommend ProShot. It's a one-time of like $6 on Apple, $5 on Android, but it's gonna unlock your smartphone. We're gonna use this to do manual mode on our smartphones. So it works on both Androids and Apples, and we're gonna use it on our next skills video and to go shoot. So I recommend that one. Lastly, number 7, a star map. There are hundreds out there. The star map app is probably the best one I've been able to find. Technically, we're just taking a photograph of the moon, so maybe you don't need it, but I think this is a good, helpful thing on your phone. All right, so that covers all of the gear that we need. We figured it out. We got our camera, we got our telescope with all the fixins, and we have 2 apps that we're gonna go pick up. Next video is all about skills. It looks pretty simple, you look through it, but there's a whole bunch of adapters and stuff, so we gotta actually figure out how to do it. And we're gonna walk through all the camera settings as well, and that's gonna be a little trickier. We're gonna cover those 3 things we talked about: aperture, shutter speed, and ISO, and how we're gonna use those to take astrophotography. All the gear is linked below in the description. This season's cheat sheet is also available. I've condensed all of these videos into a single 1-page PDF. Check it out, download it. It captures everything covered in the videos, and it's really easy to just kind of put in your back pocket, especially when we start talking about telescope and camera settings. So, stay tuned, we're gonna go shoot the moon.